Hello, YouTubers. YouTubers, that sounds like I'm addressing a bunch of potatoes, doesn't it? That's a little language joke for you, Martin Luther Buber joke. No, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Martin Luther King, and Luther Burbank. It's kind of a mixture there. You've got all these Luthers, not all of whom are Lutheran. And Luther Burbank invented the sweet potato. In case you didn't know, there were yams before, but he actually bred the sweet potato. And Luther Burbank was, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell you anything about Luther Burbank. You go ahead and look him up. In the meantime, I did promise you that I'd show you the basic chords, and I'm going to show you the basic chords that you actually need. I'm not going to show you all the chords because you're not going to need all the chords. You really aren't. There's lots of in-between chords and lots of get-there things like that, traveling stuff and so on. You're not going to really need that for what I'm going to show you now. This is guitar for dum-dums. And I'm Gorebagg, and I'll be showing you guitar for dum-dums. This is lesson 2, which is how to make your basic chords. Now, this is presuming that you've already learned how to tune the guitar, restring the guitar. No, we're going to get to all that later. First, I'm going to show you how to make the basic chords. Why? Because I want you to learn how to make basic chords so you can go to a guitar shop or to a music store and pick out a guitar that you like. Well, the way to do that is to understand how to make chords. Now, I'm going to break it down for you in several lessons. So this is basic chords number 1, or A if you want to call it that, because you really need to learn a lot just to make a chord on a guitar. So first of all, you need to learn that there are there are frets on this guitar. There's these little bars of brass that go across the fretboard. This is the fretboard here. And these are the strings. There's 6 of them. And you're going to have to learn how to deal with all 6 of these. There's also a 10-string guitar, very interestingly. The 6-string guitar is based on the tar, which is a Turkish instrument. The Turkish instrument is based on the kamancha, which is an Afghani and Iranian instrument, going back about 6,000 years. It also is related to the sitar, guitar, tar. There's all kinds of tars, and it's a stringed instrument. And this goes back to the time of Pythagoras, actually before the time of Pythagoras, when he was discovering mathematical principles based upon the length of strings. We'll talk all about that later. In the meantime, we're actually going to use that because when you make a note on here and you press this, you're actually making 2 notes. One is up here, and one is down here. When you change it, you're actually changing, you're bridging, you're cutting the guitar string, not in half, but in proportions. The proportions are based on what is called the golden mean in Greek, classical Greek mathematics. We'll talk about that later. All that stuff comes later. Let's just get to basic chords. The main thing I want to show you in this particular A part of chords is that there's these bars of metal across here. Those are the frets, the fret bars. And when you press down on a string, you're going to get as close to the bar. Let me see if I can make it for you this way. Here's the bar. You see it's going up toward the neck. The neck is that way. The head is that way. There's the head, there's the neck, there's the body. See? Just like a person. Look. See? Just like a person. So you're going to find, here's the bar, and you're going to press as close to the metal as you possibly can without getting on the metal itself. That's to prevent what's called buzzing. And so if you don't press heavily enough, you'll get a buzz. But if you press farther from the fret bar than you should, you're also going to get a buzz. So here's what a buzz sounds like. You're also going to get a dead tone if you don't press hard enough. So here's a dead tone. Here's the correct tone. Nice clear tone. So you're going to be striving for clear tones. So your very first thing you should be doing is learning one chord, just one chord, and learning how to get clear tones. So I'm going to show you the E. E is very simple. This is your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth strings, and it counts from the bottom, from the high string toward the low string. So the high string is the first, then the second, then the third. We'll talk about which strings these are too later. Each one has its own note. So you're going to put your first finger on the third string, first fret. Then you're going to put your second finger, middle finger, on the fifth string, second fret, and then your ring finger, your ring finger, will go on the fourth string. So it goes third string, fifth string, fourth string. You make it this way. It's a kind of a strange way to make this, but that's how you do it. And then you'll strum. And you should get a nice clear tone. If it sounds like this, or like that, you didn't do it right. What you're looking for is a nice clear tone. You don't have to worry about your strum. Just use your thumb and go across the strings first. Get a nice clear tone on the E. And let's just go from there. And that's all you really need is that E chord. And you can look it up to see. There's all kinds of references to the E chord, how to make the E chord. But I make the E chord like this. And I do it like that because it goes very well with its companion chords, which will be A and B7. So it's easy to go between those like that. So we'll talk about that next time. Okay, this is the next lesson. Go right to the next lesson if you want to, which is how to make more chords. Peace.